This is the Vietnam motorbike driving tutorial you didn't know you needed. Okay guys, with the intersections, it's every man for himself. So when you come through, you just gotta look both ways and gun it. The main thing about riding in Vietnam is all the motorbikes, you gotta stay to the right side unless you're passing. Even then, the right side is your friend on a motorbike. The one thing you have to be patient and look out for, just like that, is those guys, they'll come out on your side of the lane, they will come out on the road and they do not look left to see if traffic's coming. As you see, they just jump out in front of you, so you always got to have your fingers and hands on the brakes because you just never know. Now we're going to try to make a pass here, and as you can see, it's a no-go. But this is a huge issue in Vietnam. You could be cruising and a car will jump out on your side from an off street, and you need to hit the brakes because they are not looking left to see if traffic's coming. That's the thing in Vietnam, you really have to be on eye for it because they will just jump on the street and you got to be ready to hit the brakes or go around. You use your horn to let people know you're there. Vietnam, using the horn isn't a sign of being threatening or you want to kick their ass like it is in America. It's basically just letting people know you are there. Anytime you pass or you're coming to an intersection, you want to honk your horn, passing kids. Your horn is your best friend because you're letting people know that you are there and you're around and they will pay attention, trust me. So don't be shy with the horn, actually be aggressive with it. As you can see there, I just let them know I'm passing them. Don't do anything stupid like go left, although sometimes they may. So again, hands should always be on the brakes. Always have a couple fingers on the front and right brake. And you don't have to be afraid to pass, but when you do pass, make sure you give a little leeway. See, I lean over, I look to the left. It is clear, but we got a person on a bicycle, so not safe yet. If you're not in a rush, guys, it's not worth it because this could be very dangerous. There could be someone hauling ass, and a head-on collision on a motorbike would not be fun. Let's see if we can make a pass without injuring ourselves. I can't stress enough, you gotta have your hands, I don't know if the camera can see, but you gotta have fingers on your front and right brake at all times because you just never know when somebody is gonna jump in front of you, whether it be a truck, a motorbike, a pedestrian. And they'll come off these side streets, and it's just the thing in Vietnam, they don't even look for traffic. They just go and hope that you're paying attention, which is crazy to me. Put a lot of trust in other drivers, and we've already seen one horrific accident, and honestly it's the first one we've seen in the whole 7 months that we've been here. But this lady smacked right into one of these box trucks because it cut in front of us, and unfortunately she was on an older motorbike and she did not brake in time. Luckily she was conscious and alive, but I think she was probably severely injured. So we're gonna make a pass. And just like that, you gun it, you pop that horn several times and you make your move. You gotta commit, no hesitation in Vietnam on the motorbike. You hesitate, you could cause a collision and you could be the asshole. See, right at this point, we're not gonna make a pass. The line's long, it's not worth it. Even though there'll be some locals that will do it. The point of this tutorial is not to show you how to die. And there's a dog, is that a dog or a goat? Who knows? It's a hybrid. So Tet New Year's over. This is the first day back, Monday, the 23rd. So might be a very busy day. We'll try to give you as many examples as we can. Let's see if we can make a move here. There we go, nothing to it. You gotta commit, but make sure you do it safely and hug that right side because you just never know. And another thing too is there are a lot of kids on these e-scooters that are coming back from school or wherever they meet. That's very common. You'll see kids from shit, 5 years old to teenage years on e-scooters on all the main roads and I don't want to call it highways, but the main streets. So you got to pay attention. You don't want to be responsible for taking out a kid on an e-scooter. I'll tell you that. You won't be a fan of the Vietnamese, that's for sure. So unlike the Vietnamese right here, they would even look left. They would just jump out here. Me, I like to look left just to make sure that people know I'm coming. And then you just ride this shoulder. It's okay to get in the left lane. I like to stay in the left lane because there seems to be a lot of traffic always where the motorbikes are. And like I said, people just coming off of the side streets. So you gotta always be ready to get the hell out of the way. So I'd rather kind of stay in the right lane and then use the shoulder / scooter lane when I need to. And you gotta be leery of people carrying stuff. You'll see all kinds of stuff on the motorbikes that they could potentially fall off. And you gotta be ready to maneuver around that. So always keep your awareness, situational awareness. Don't get complacent, because you get complacent and it can be catastrophic. We're about to come up to a roundabout, and the same rules apply at the roundabout as they do anywhere else. The rules are, there are no rules. Honk your horn, look for traffic, and make yourself known, and you just gotta commit to going. There's some kids on the scooters, they're smart, they see a crazy white guy on a motorbike, and there we go. Again, do not hesitate when you're on the road. It could cause serious damage. You got to commit, but just always be aware. Situational awareness, non-stop. Easy breezy. These guys will come out, see ya. Just give them a little honk, let them know you're coming. Tet New Year just ended. You got all the Vietnam flags lining the road. It's an awesome sight. Beautiful yellow flowers. Now we're coming up to this intersection. People can come out. What do? Just honk, coming through, coming through. It's really interesting. We've been here for 7 months and we haven't seen any police on here stopping doing checks like you'll see in Thailand. But what we have noticed, there's one main road stretch that goes from Da Nang to Hoi An, and it's where all the tourists take. The police have started to do checks, and I imagine they're just checking for your permit and probably your visa, make sure you're legit. I'm sure there's some overstayers here. They love this cheap Vietnam life. So I'll show you the permit you have. It's a green light. We're gonna bust through these people. Hope for the best. Good timing. Such a beautiful day. The weather is perfect. Tourist season is here. And you want to get on a motorbike, you gotta have no fear. And we're gonna time this red light just in time, 2-1. And you can kind of hug the lanes. Again, fingers on the brakes, you just never know when someone's gonna make an asshole move. But we're good, and we're off. Little honk, let them know you're coming around the bend. So as I was saying, we've never seen any police officers on this road. There are speed limits, but it's kind of a unwritten rule. You just kind of behave and not drive like a complete asshole. You got to be careful for crossing like that. Again, they don't do intersections or street lights in a lot of places, so I cannot stress enough. You got to have hands on the brakes at all times. Not be pressing them, obviously, but be ready to. And be ready for a pedestrian or someone to cross your path at any time, because it does happen. Now you're going to see here, we're going to make this left turn, and it's not uncommon to go against traffic. Now I wouldn't recommend you doing it all the time, but if you're doing for a short distance, going against traffic, as long as you hug the shoulder, it's not that big an issue. It's very common. Let's see, let's not get in a wreck. These people gotta have your head on a swivel. But as you see, we're in traffic, but you can just go a little ways, hug the road. It's very common. People know it. Just don't go 5 kilometers against traffic. That would be kind of silly. And we've made it to the gym in one piece. It's how you carry groceries. Very handy. Just wedge that bad boy right in there. Make sure it's stiff. You got a little bit of leg room, but that's how you carry it in Vietnam. Or if you need to carry a motorbike or a water buffalo, you just put that bad boy right back here. You're good. So. They'll just cruise, so you gotta have your hands on the brakes at all times. I don't know how many times I can say it. The key is, you see these red lights, you'll look up above and they're all timed. So usually by the time it hits 2-3 seconds, people are already kind of taking off, as you can see. So we timed it just right. And I like to just get away from traffic. I'm not one to really speed, especially when I got my wife on the back, but I do like to get ahead of everybody, because you're around a cluster, bad things can happen. So the goal is to just try to stay away from the group of people, kind of chart your own path, and then stay in the lane you're supposed to. But with the less distractions around you, the better off you are. And here you are. A lot of times you'll come up at these intersections, you'll see the light is green. It's not right now, but it'll be green, and these cars will be coming from the left anyway. So just because it's a green light doesn't mean it's necessarily safe to go. So you have to be vigilant and pay attention, because the light will be green, but there'll be people crossing the road, whether it's cars or trucks or motorbikes. So never get comfortable on a motorbike, ever, or it could be catastrophic. Just zoom ahead of everybody. That's why it's key to get a good motorbike. Spend the extra few dollars and make sure you get a quality motorbike. We got 160cc, which you can get faster, but 160 for 2 people is plenty. And I'm 100 kilos. Emma's like 60 something, tiny. But 160, 155 is enough. You're staying fairly local. We have no issues. This thing can get up and go. I won't lie, if I'm solo, I do like to kind of haul ass a little bit, but I also like to come home alive as well. Just the other day, we were driving here, coming back from the gym, and right up in this area, we were in this lane in this exact spot. And as you'll see, oh, there's another thing I'd like to mention. See the debris in the road. You never know when somebody can drop debris or trash or something will fall out of a truck. And that's why you don't want to follow trucks or cars too closely from behind, because you don't have any reaction time. If you have no reaction time, I could have been behind that truck very close and would have never seen that trash. And if you run over that, your ass is wiping out. So always, that's why I say I like to get ahead of traffic and make my own way. That way, look how far I can see ahead and how quick I can react. But as I was saying, there was an intersection coming this way, and there was a lady right up ahead, and that truck came and didn't give her enough time to slow down, and she smacked right into it. And that actually happened right up here, and it would have been us if it wasn't her. And bless her heart, she had an older bike, so she didn't have enough time to stop. It was literally right here, and she ate it. And luckily she survived that one, because it could have been terrible. Could have been really terrible. That surprisingly is the only accident we've seen here. And I'm honestly surprised she survived that, let alone she was conscious too. She went head first into that thing. This is how you just come up. Just let everybody know, come on through. You gotta commit. You can't ever be stagnant. Once you commit to doing something, stick to it. And you know, once you ride around, take baby steps if you're new to this, but you want to be staying in Vietnam for a long period of time and get used to riding on the roads. You got to train yourself, train your brain. And you can't be in La La Land. You have to stay vigilant at all times, because you just never know. There's so many factors. Usually we'd be in the right lane, but we're going to make a left-hand turn here. And what you do when you have a passenger with you, I'll put my blinker on, but Emma will actually put her left hand out to signal before we make a left turn. And she'll extend her hand out, and that way you let anybody know that's behind you that we're going to be making a left turn, even with your blinker on. You don't have to do it as a driver. You obviously want to keep both hands on the wheel and close to the brake. And then as you see, look, you just kind of mesh in. And there you go, no hesitation, stick to your gut. They say the worst thing you can do is second guess yourself, and then you mess up the flow of traffic. So no quick accelerations and no slamming the brakes, even though you will have some people on motorbikes, they will literally just stop right in the middle of the road as they're driving. They'll just stop and not even go to the side of the road. So it just could be an interesting experience until you know what to expect when you're out here. As you see, the kids are coming back from school, the scooters and motorbikes. So beware of them. They're obviously not going as fast, but I'm really impressed. I mean, you don't see kids in America that are anywhere from 5 to 15 years old that are riding e-scooters or motorbikes in this type of insane traffic. It's a testament to them and their trust in the parents to be out on these crazy roads. And these kids are they're built different here in Vietnam, which is awesome. They're sweethearts, and they have no fear. They learn fast on these motorbikes. I tell you what, I've seen 8-year-olds cruising on an actual 150cc motorbike. It's wild. So they learn early. And as you hear the horn, that's something you got to get used to. The bigger trucks too, they have these horns that sound like a massive cargo ship. And if you're not used to hearing it, you're cruising, it's going to scare the shit out of you. That happened to me the first few times. I damn near crashed my motorbike just from the horn. It was so loud and so close. So again, honking of the horn, it's a spoken language out on the road. It's just simply saying, I'm right here, beware. I always tell him and some other people in America, if someone's honking the horn at you, that's basically fighting words. But here it's to alleviate traffic and accidents. And I will see a lot of foreigners. I'm not gonna say any typical countries, British, Russia, but those guys will come here and get 300, 600cc motorbikes and drive like absolute maniacs. And I've heard of some terrible accidents happening. And if that's how you want to spend your holiday in the hospital ER, well, that's your choice. But I always say you might be a fantastic driver, and I've owned 1000cc motorbikes, CBR 1000s, R1s, and I've driven some of the fastest motorbikes ever made. And you might be the best there is, but you never know what somebody else is going to do on the road. You never know if an 8-year-old's going to come out on his e-bike, or if a big truck's going to pull out in front of you, and you have no reaction time. So I don't know if you want to choose to go home in a body bag or in a full body cast. That's on you. But remember, there's no rush, guys. You're here on holiday. You got to enjoy yourself. Drive smart, be safe. And I'll say the obvious, don't drink and drive on a motorbike. You're really playing with death. And as you can see up here, another thing, you're gonna have stray dogs. And sometimes these crazy bastards will run right across from you. So again, just another reason to pay attention to the damn road all the time. Both hands on the wheel. Don't be Mr. Cool Guy. You gotta cruise with one hand. And as you can see, my finger's on the brake here just in case. My middle finger is on the other brake. That way, if I need to react in any quick time fashion, I can hit the rear, or I can hit the front brake. Always have my fingers on the brakes, because again, you don't want to be the lady that goes head first, or the man that goes head first into these little pickup trucks and have somebody making a call to your family back in your country.
Luckily, they do a monthly maintenance. We bring it in every month, and they'll change the oil, check the tires and everything. So that's something you might want to ask them to do. Hey guys, do you do a monthly check? If you're here for extended stay, 3 months or something, bring it in once a month and have them change the oil, check the brakes, because you just never know. But we got a pretty good, reliable one. Every time we double check the tires when we go down the road, make sure there's no holes in it, or sticking, protruding, or you got a low tire or something like that. Make sure your lights work, the blinkers. I mean, your typical safety check. Take a really quick ride, hit the brakes, make sure they all work, kickstand works, the rear brake light works. You always just want to do a quick safety check. It takes 2 minutes, and it could legitimately save your life, because these roads in Vietnam are unforgiving. Another thing I would recommend, if the rental place has a full face helmet, I would request a full face helmet. Some of the ones they give you, like the grabs, are a little like I call bucket helmets. And if you crash on those, usually they'll slip and they'll tight, and they're not very safety worthy. You're probably going to crack your skull in it. We actually bought these in Cambodia, but you can find them here in Vietnam. There's shops everywhere. We paid 25 bucks for these, and as you can see, it's got the visor, it's got the dark shade, and on top of it, it lifts up, so you can easily BS when you're at a red light, lift it up, get some air, and it comes down into full face. If you crash on this thing, you don't want to mess up your beautiful face. So I would highly recommend spending an extra 20 bucks. Again, if you're here for a short time, maybe not, but a lot of the rental places that have the motorbikes, they will have these, and you could just ask. If not, if you're here for a long time, 90 days, I would buy one. To me, it's worth it, because you just never know. You'd rather be safe than sorry, and what's $20? You spend $20 on beer in one day. So pop it on like this. Comes down, lifts up, so no problem. $25, so I got one for me and Emma, and it just seemed like a no-brainer. So I would highly recommend this, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of riding around. Anyways, that was your motorbike tutorial for Vietnam that you didn't know you needed, but now you have. So appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you learned something from this. And this doesn't necessarily just apply to Vietnam. Indonesia, Thailand, the insanity is pretty much the same. We've traveled all those places. Cambodia, the same thing. The only difference between Indonesia and Vietnam is you use the left side of the lane like they do in UK and Australia. Here, it's like America. Anyway, guys, I hope this motorbike tutorial helped you guys out. You learned something from it. Drop in the comments if I missed something, or if you guys want to add something, because there's a lot of people that claim to know how to ride a motorbike, But then you come to Vietnam and it's that oh shit factor when you're on the road. So just because you know how to get around on a motorbike a few hundred meters around doesn't mean you're ready for these streets, because these streets could be mean and you gotta be prepared. Make sure you like, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you at the next adventure.